Okay, more Wednesday college basketball. We're talking about Bryant and St. John's. But first, I got to tell you about a special that we have at WagerTalk. It's our normal all access week. We're throwing in 3 extra days. It's 10 days for just $99, less than $10 a day. Get you all sports. Right now, for me, that's all the college hoop, NFL, college football, anything I've got to release in the next 10 days covered on that special package, and it's up the rest of the week. So instead of 7 days for $99, it is 10, and it gets you everything at one of, for me, the most high volume points of the season. All right, Bryant St. John's. This line move is tempting me to come in with Bryant. This is now up to 23.5. And Bryant's a team, they're a little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde type team, but over the years, they tend to play up to their competition and then play down to the lesser teams. So even though you never know which Bryant team is going to show up, historically, the Bryant team, the good Bryant, tends to show up against the better teams that they play. And just going from memory, last year, 25-point underdog against top 10 Florida Atlantic. They win that game outright. 2 years ago, as an underdog, they come into the Carrier Dome and beat Syracuse. So there is some historical, sort of context for Bryant playing well against the high major program like St. John's. And, I actually think this matchup might favor Bryant in terms of like having them hang around in this game. So Bryant's always interesting to me because the roster is very good. And a lot of these guys, Rafael Pinzon, for example, came from St. John's. So a little bit of a homecoming here for him. And a lot of these guys come from bigger schools and then land in Bryant. And the appeal is the style of basketball they play. Bryant plays, one of the top 5 tempos in the country year in and year out. They fly up and down the court. They take a lot of threes. It's fast paced and guys like to play that way. So that's how they're able to get a Barry Evans from St. Bonaventure, a Pinzon from St. John's, right? Like this is how people wanted to play for Jared Grasso. And it seems that they still want to play for Phil Martelli Jr., who's now the coach. So Bryant's going to go breakneck pace. They're going to take a lot of threes, and that's where you get the variance from. But if they're falling, if they can make the threes, and they do make the 3-point shot at a pretty good clip, they have a chance to be right in this game. The other thing is they're not bad defensively. I would call them a middle of the pack defense, but they contest shots. They play extremely hard, and that's another thing that I think keeps them in these types of games. The thing that gives them trouble is the turnovers and some of the sloppy play. And that tends to show up against, a couple of their losses this year are just borderline inexcusable. Like the loss to Stonehill was really more of an effort thing. They just didn't show up for that game. They got out rebounded by Stonehill. And this is, a Bryant team that's typically very good at rebounding. So to me, that one just screams what weren't ready to play, lack of effort. The Siena game earlier this year, Siena went in there and won, and that was just a turnover disaster. I think Bryant turned the ball over 23 or 24 times in that game. But those are things that I think are going to start to get a little bit better because they're learning how to play without Sharif Gross-Bullock and Daniel Rivera, who were 2 of their better ball handlers last year, specifically Gross-Bullock, who really kind of held them together at times. There's a little bit of an uncertainty with who's handling the ball right now, but it's improving as the season goes on. So again, Bryant is a team that I think has a huge upside based on the talent of the guys they have on their roster. Now, St. John's has a ton of talent on their roster as well. And as we know, St. John's, if they're fully engaged, they can win this game by 20 plus. But they just kind of had a big time statement win over the weekend against Kansas State in a game where they did not play particularly well in the first half and came out and won by like 18. Their next game, I think is about 6 days from now, is their Big East opener against DePaul. So I do think that this profiles as a potential flat spot, a sleep spot a little bit. And that's the one thing. If you don't fully respect what Bryant can do offensively, they're going to be pouring points in a hurry. They have the ability to score and score quick. And if you don't believe that, just ask Florida Atlantic last year when they underestimated Bryant as a 25-point underdog and lost the game as a top 10 team nationally. So I think the spot favors Bryant. I'll tell you right now, a couple things I'll be looking for. Earl Timberlake and Cam Ferris did not play in Bryant's most recent game. I think that was more just scheduled rest. Those guys play a ton of minutes. They recently played a non D1 school that they beat by about 70. So I think that might have been a planned rest for guys like Timberlake who have had, who have been hurt in the past. I don't know what Ferris is going through, but Timberlake would be really the one that needs to be in there. He's kind of the guard that plays like a big and really lets this Bryant team do what they want to do offensively. So I'll have my eye on that. But man, at this point, 23.5 points just seems like way too many. This is a very talented Bryant squad. They're not, it's a national TV game. They don't get a ton of those. They're not going to take that lightly. I think Bryant gives St. John's all they can handle. And I think it's probably good enough to stay within 20. So this might be an ad for me. So make sure you're following me on all platforms at Adam Trigger WT. I may add this as a client play, and I will let you know on my Twitter. Also, like and subscribe to the WagerTalk YouTube channel so we can continue to bring you these free picks all season long. Good luck on Wednesday night. I hope you guys cash all your bets, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for more free college basketball picks on WagerTalk TV.